Hi, I'm Dave Casey, founder of the Innovation Leaders Club. In this video, we'll be looking at what are the different layers. In fact, there are 3 layers when it comes to innovation ecosystem. So what is interesting, it's when people talk about innovation ecosystem, most of the time they talk about the external ecosystem. But the internal ecosystem is really important. In fact, it is like, if you look at a solar system, it is like the sun of the solar system. So if the sun is not strong enough, does not shine enough, ultimately the planet will not turn around the sun. So that's the same thing with the ecosystem. So yes, we have external ecosystem, but there's the internal ecosystem that we got to make sure that we are well structured and we can shine outside of our organization. But before we deep dive into those layers, let's look at the control span that we have, because closer we are to our internal or within the internal, we control. And as we move to the external, we lose control. So this is why it's important to ensure that we optimize first what we control. So let's have a look.
This video from the Innovation Leaders Club will explain what the 3 layers of an innovation ecosystem are. Learn what composes an innovation ecosystem and where it should fit based on a 3-layer model. We have developed a 60-page visual guidebook on how to develop an innovation strategy. It is a fully illustrated step-by-step guide to building the foundation of an innovation system. Click the link in the description below to download it for free. Let's look into the innovation ecosystem control span. Managing the innovation ecosystem requires recognizing the span of control over the various resources. The internal ecosystem, which includes everyone inside the organization, is under the domain of control. This means that it is easy to supervise them or assign them tasks within their scope of responsibilities. Then second and third layers involve the external ecosystem, which include partners and suppliers who need to be influenced in order to achieve the organization's objectives. This means an external ecosystem cannot be managed in the way that resources are managed internally. The domain of influence refers to using persuasion rather than giving direct orders. You must take into consideration the fact that your organization is competing against other organizations' innovations. Therefore, you must always behave in a mutual interest and only promote your organization's interest.
Now that we have looked at the control span, let's deep dive in those layers. Like I mentioned initially, the internal ecosystem is key. And let's start with the internal ecosystem. Let's start with what we call the innovation professional. So those are the ones that really spend most of the time innovating. Some would say they spend at least 50% of their time, or at least every day when they start working, innovation is a priority for them. So it may mean different thing in your organization, but ultimately, at the end of the week, if those people, they have not innovate, there was an issue. Okay, so the innovation professional will give kind of the momentum within the organization to innovate. So let's say if you have people in R&D and there is someone working in the operation. So the R&D person is the innovation professional, while the operation will be supporting, even though they're all internal. But the person in the operation will not innovate faster than the R&D person. So if the R&D person innovates very fast, then you can expect the operation person to innovate faster. But if the person in R&D innovate really slow, then the operation person would be even slower. So this is why the innovation professional are key within the internal ecosystem to give that momentum within the organization. Then we're going to discuss the other key players or stakeholders that we have into the internal ecosystem. So let's have a look.
Let's examine the internal innovation ecosystem as the first level of an ecosystem. In most cases, the members of an internal innovation ecosystem include the innovation professionals, the supporting functions, and the management team. The primary role of innovation professionals is to innovate, or in other terms, to develop the future of the organization in the form of new offerings and business models. Professionals within the innovation include the research and development personnel, marketers or product managers, and other functions with a main role in innovation. They are expected to dedicate at least 50% of their time to innovation activities. They are a key group within an internal innovation ecosystem. Take this scenario as an example. When starting their workday, they are aware they have to innovate. At the end of the day, if they've not innovated, it means they have not accomplished their main role. This is called accountability. If the responsibility to innovate is not fulfilled for whatever reason, such as being pulled to support sales and operations or undertaking other administrative tasks, then it means these tasks are accomplished to the detriment of innovation. Some club members with a very small team involved in innovation were able to improve innovation performance by dedicating at least one person to a main role of innovating. Having that professional almost or fully dedicated to innovation ensured there were innovation activities taking place every day. Consequently, having someone moving the innovation project forward every day creates momentum for the rest of the team to follow. In addition to the innovation professionals, there are supporting functions to innovation, such as operational functions. This includes operation managers, quality coordinators, sales reps, and others. While these are roles that do not innovate on a daily basis, they are somewhat involved in critical steps in the different processes of innovation. One example is an information provider who is linked to projects and planning. Their roles include providing guidance on operations, participating in design reviews, testing new offerings on current equipment, searching for key suppliers, and finally, overlooking specific operational tasks. Often, their role consumes less than 20% of their time on innovation as compared to innovation professionals who allocate more than 50% of their time. It is important to note to the customer that some supporting functions will be delivering innovation on a daily basis after the project is completed. This is also why their involvement is key during the development stage. In an organization with an innovation management system in place, the management team is tasked with a fair portion of around 5 to 10% of time allocated on innovation. Some of their roles include supporting the innovation within the organization, such as a sponsor, as well as making decisions in relation to projects and programs. When it comes to the organization's governance, the shareholders should have their eye on innovation programs that might be resource-intensive and require funding. This involves an overview of the innovation strategy, where it is heading, and the big programs that require most of the resources. However, the shareholders are usually not directly involved in this process when compared to the management team.
Now that we have seen the internal ecosystem, let's look at external. So external can be divided in two parts. First is the close external. This is what I would call the partners. And then there's the extended external. This is what I would call like kind of the suppliers, the people that you pay or you ask something and they will do it. But they will not necessarily share risk with you. They will not bring things to you. But let's start with the close external, which is the partners. Those are the people that you should share your innovation strategy with. And now that they know your strategy, you say, okay, now I'm expecting you to support us during this strategy development. So it could be a supplier, it could be a partner, it could be someone else, but you expect sharing risk with them, and ultimately you will share gain when you will have some. So let's have a look.
The second layer of the innovation ecosystem is known as the closed external innovation ecosystem. The closed external innovation ecosystem is part of the ecosystem that regularly interacts with the organization to conduct its operation. This includes preferred suppliers, key customers, intimate partners, and others. They will be referred to as partners as they should be aware of their role and expected contributions to the innovation program. partners are strategically chosen and are potential long-term relationships. The objective is to share knowledge and gather experience together. Such relationships should provide an economy of scale over time, since coordination efforts will be less demanding. Finally, partners who are part of the closed external innovation system is willing to share risk during the innovation development and deployment. Obviously, in return, the organization has to be ready to share the benefits of the innovation, including additional profit in some cases.
Last but not the least is the external ecosystem. So those are the people that, like planets, they are more far away. And so they don't expect that much from them. Expect that they will do what you ask. Most of the time you will have to pay. Let's say, like a research center or a test center, then you pay for specific tests, or a customer that you reach, or potential customer you reach for a survey or for a trial, or it's different from your customer that you will have like for years and work closely, which will be part of your closed external. So the external ecosystem, do not expect that much. So you will not share strategy with them, but you need them. And so one question that you could have when you try to optimize your ecosystem is, should I take someone who is external, like extended external, and should I bring it too close to me? So obviously you cannot bring them all, but there's some key potential external stakeholders that you will bring and become partners. So let's have a look.
Next, the third layer of innovation ecosystem is the extended external innovation ecosystem. The extended external innovation ecosystem are the stakeholders of the ecosystem with whom interaction with the organization is not required to conduct its current operation. To contribute, they must be solicited. Thus, interaction with them is punctual or on demand. For instance, the following are possible members of this layer of the ecosystem. Users who can be solicited to participate in concept testing. Suppliers that are not key in innovation activities and will supply materials or services as needed. Competitors can be considered in the ecosystem if they contribute to the standards development. Some club members have united their governmental grant requests through an entity that was formed with competitors to represent the industry. It eased governmental contributions to the industry by giving directly to such an entity. Development centers or research centers who are solicited for on-demand tests, specialized service providers, and others. What differentiates a supplier in the extended external ecosystem from partners in the close external ecosystem is that suppliers are chosen based on the price or for an on-demand request. For instance, the search for a supplier in the extended external innovation ecosystem is done on the premise of finding the lowest bidder who meets the expected quality, while the search for a partner in the close external innovation ecosystem is based on their expertise and willingness to share risk associated with the innovation.
Now that we have seen how to optimize our ecosystem by dividing the ecosystem by 3 layers, so for the internal ecosystem, the closed external and the extended external, like I come back to what I mentioned like maybe twice in this video. Ensure to start with the internal ecosystem first. And that's a mistake that most club members are making. They are optimizing their external ecosystem without paying enough attention to the internal ecosystem. It is like your sun in a solar system. If it does not shine, planet will not turn around.
If you haven't already done so, you can get your hands on our popular 60-page visual guidebook for free. Click the link in the description below. Don't hesitate to watch the next video to learn even more about innovation management practices.